First of all, I gotta tell y'all how much I love y'all. I'm looking out at both of y'all at the same time. Y'all can't tell I'm looking at them both at the same time. Thank you for shining the light, telling the story. We in movement spaces, we're about the work, but we also have to tell the story of the work. So I just want to put love on y'all, and I'm honored to run this Senate race. I did not think I'd run for anything at all. I don't come from politics. I definitely didn't think I'd run for Senate a third time. But to be here and to know that we can actually win this race and transform not just our city, our state, but the country too at a time when we need it most. I thank God for the chance. And I see this race being a testament to the movement, a testament to regular people who know poverty should end, that it's a policy choice, a testament to people who know that justice should be real and that freedom should matter and humanity is at the forefront. And the platform I've been lifting up over the years of people standing together from the hood to the holler is what everyone's calling for now. The fact that we're seeing more mutual aid, more organizing out of necessity is just highlighting the urgency of a platform that I live. And so I've jumped into this race after months of evaluation that we can talk about, because people have asked me to consider running for mayor and just to do something. And I think we all have to do some soul searching to figure out how we show up in this moment. I have, and leveraging my platform, putting my life on the line because you put your lives on the line. We have a chance to make history, and we will. And I'm asking you all to help me do it.
So Charles, tell us what you think the difference is going to be between this time and the last two times. What are you going to do differently? How is your focus going to change? Because let's just say it out loud. We live in a racist Republican state.
Yeah.
A black man running across Kentucky is tough. You had a hell of a campaign the last time. It was exhausting. It was rewarding. But dear God, it's a lot of work to convince people. How are you going to do that? How are you going to win the hearts and minds of all the people in the state that you need to win in order to secure this seat?
Well, one of the biggest things that's different about this time around is the political climate. I think in a lot of ways, my platform saying people can stand together from the hood to the holler, our common bonds are greater than anything that could divide us. Let's build a campaign and have government work for us. Let's end poverty. Having someone talk like that, in some ways, it felt a little ahead of its time. I've had people say that, like, Charles, if only, we had heard sooner, or, folks may not have been ready. But at the same time, we were still making history. We took on the big money in the Democratic establishment, shocked the world. Then we took on the Republican big money establishment, became the first black person to be nominated for U.S. Senate. So one of the biggest differences now is because of the way that the Trump administration is really showing their faces, really crushing the economy, weaponizing hate, waging war on American cities, stepping on family farmers, stepping on small businesses, grassroots organizations, taking healthcare away, rural hospitals, shuttering. It's highlighting why I support Medicare for all. It's highlighting why I believe in universal basic income and making sure that people can have a roof over their heads and not be crushed by high utility costs, that everyone should be safe no matter where they are, the color of their skin, what faith they practice, who they love. And so the thing that's powerful is that the moment for us is here. And I've also learned a lot. I don't come from politics. I don't come from money. I still live in the hood. And some of this stuff you don't learn until you do it. And knowing what it means to take on the big money machine, how to build a team that focuses on community in an atmosphere that is trying to drown out community. I know what it takes, and I'm bringing leadership around the table that understands how to do that. That's including y'all. And also, I know now that the people of Kentucky are resilient, and I've restored my hope, and I'm hoping this campaign can restore yours, because all across Kentucky, and I know racism is real. Hear me, racism is very real. But also love is. And love is the greatest power that we have. And after seeing yards with Trump signs and Booker signs in them, yes, a black man can win in Kentucky. A person that believes in humanity, that shows up over and over again, can win, because people know what you stand for. Even if we disagree on some things, they know you for real. And my policies aren't talking points. There are people running in the primary and certainly on the Republican side who are talking at people. The things I talk about I live it. I've been homeless. So when I'm saying housing is a human right, I'm thinking about what my mom had to do for me. People know that I really mean it, and the moment is arrived.
One of the most profound things I remember about you was when you told us about your diabetes. The cost of insulin has skyrocketed.
Yeah.
You were rationing your own insulin to be able to continue to stay alive.
Yeah.
So, when you say you've experienced it, you really have experienced it. And I feel like a lot of people are talking into echo chambers.
Yeah.
I never feel like that when I hear you speak. So talk about the things people really care about. Right now, the price of groceries, the price of gasoline, the price of health care, the price of housing, the inability to maintain housing. Those are all basic human needs that are not being met on any level everywhere in the nation. How profoundly is that affecting us in Kentucky, and what can you do to make a change?
It is particularly impacting us in Kentucky, and largely because we've had someone in the Senate who's been exploiting us my whole life. Mitch McConnell was elected when I was 2 weeks old. And while we work in community, we work to survive. We face struggles over and over again. We surpass them. We move mountains in community. We build together. We lean on each other. We also have the power to change things too. And that's my message. It's not enough to just say, okay, if you don't have food to eat, I'm going to take food out of my kitchen and give it to you. I'm going to find a way to help I'll give you my coat. We should make sure people have enough money in their pocket, because these big corporations are robbing us, and they're getting welfare that we pay for, tax breaks that we pay for, while these same politicians are cutting our benefits. And if we only focus on surviving within it, we'll keep dealing with it. So one of the things that I'm lifting up now is saying that we actually do have the power to change things if we dare to dream, if we dare to try, and if we build coalitions from the hood to the holler. There's more of us than it is them. And the numbers show it. And the support I've seen over the years with no money has proven it. Because mind you, in 2022, when I became the nominee for U.S. Senate, the Democratic Party was not helping me at all. It was all grassroots. And the fact that we got the same percentage of voting that Amy McGrath did, when she was one of the most well-funded campaigns in history, shows you that our message resonates. We just need people to invest in it. And now people have been burned at the national stage. People realize things have to change. That's why you're seeing folks like Zohan in New York and all around the country. Regular people are stepping up. This is our time in Kentucky. We deserve it too, because Kentucky is worth fighting for.
Summer, jump in anytime you want to.
Something you just said a minute ago is a little mind-blowing. It's like he's been in office since you were a child.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just think about that, And so I think that it's really, it's urgent almost in some sense that we do have a fresh breath of air, to get somebody in there. Go ahead, Tar. I just wanted to point that out because that's a lot.
It's a huge... Jefferson County Judge Executive when I was in my 20s. So he's been a constant presence. And it seems like with all the power that he has aggregated over the years, the ability to literally change the judicial structure in the nation from the local courts all the way to the Supreme Court.
That's right.
Has been a huge component strategy of this whole last 4 decades. So
that's right.
That's another part of it. People forget about the judiciary.
Yeah, the Supreme Court right now has agreed to hear a case on whether the Trump administration can ban birthright citizenship. They've already moved to gut the Voting Rights Act. And so while we are working in community, and we have to do that, I'm going to continue to lift up the message that we also have to go upstream to change the system too. And we can, and we have to, because they are actively working to silence us, to make sure that poverty is passed down from generation to generation. And we have a lot of politicians locally, at the state level, and at the federal level who are laying down to it and playing games with it to get rich themselves. I am not taking corporate PAC money. I will not sell out. I'm standing on my principles because you all are my family. The people of Kentucky are my family. And I'm hoping that we can give this race a chance. There's a lot of cynicism, a lot of questions whether things can ever change. I feel that's why I'm doing this, because I'm like, hell, if we don't change it, it won't change. But let's look again at this race, because I'm already leading in the polls. The big money candidate got back in the race, and I'm leading her. And then on the Republican side, there are historically weak and extreme candidates. And the person leading on the Republican side said that Breonna Taylor's murder was justified. Daniel Cameron is leading on the Republican side. We could very well see me taking on the person who said our lives don't matter, while people may be looking past this race. I'm telling you, this is a race we can win for the movement, for humanity, for Kentucky's future. We need to do this.
Kathy wants to know what you would do to help our education system. And having kids in the public schools, you can speak to this very personally, being a part of organizations that have worked to pass legislation to protect kids in the public schools, like
That's
the
right.
Brown Act. Address what you would do to help our education system. And then she wants to know, what are you going to do for the seniors?
Absolutely. So, first of all, we'll talk about protecting Social Security. I'll run down a couple things. But on the front of education, this is another reason why federal government is so important, because the funding that comes to the state that then gets dispersed to our local communities is critical in how we make sure to address equity. And the fact that our public schools are funded off of property taxes, and in an area like the West End where I'm from, if you don't have a lot of money, the schools are suffering. We have to reimagine how we fund our public schools, because we need to fully and equitably fund them. We need to make sure teachers can have their full benefits, because that is one of the highest forms of public service. And we also need to make sure that we're educating our children, that we are culturally competent and sensitive to the various needs of our students, instead of seeing history being erased from the books and the truth being deprived from our children. We have to equip our children to be learners and to be innovators, to be owners, not just employees. And so this is part of my life's work, and I'm excited to stand with our public education, our public teachers, our student leaders, our dreamers, and I'll be a loud advocate in the Senate. And on the front for our seniors, our elders, our trailblazers, one of the reasons why I'm fighting to protect healthcare is because I see the challenges that so many of our elderly loved ones face when they cannot afford to take care of themselves or to stay in their homes. Housing is a human right, no matter what your age is. And I believe that we need to take care of our seniors because they've taken care of us. So policies like universal basic income, it's not something we often hear about, but if our seniors, and it doesn't take away from your benefits, can have additional money in their pockets, this is more financial freedom at a time when so many of us are struggling to just make ends meet. So I'm committed. I know that we have a lot of infrastructure needs, especially here in Kentucky. So having someone in the Senate who is going to fight to make sure you can get to your doctor's office because it's still there and the road isn't broken, and that you can have a roof over your head. Count me in as the loudest champion there will be. I will wear my voice out. I will stand in the rain if I need to. I'm committed, and you deserve it, and I love you, and I'm gonna give my all.
Okay, so you're talking to me on a very personal level, because I'm a senior now. Started on Social Security.
Yeah.
Started on Medicare. And the people in my age group, and I know this for a fact because I'm feeling it myself, are really, really concerned about whether we're going to have the life's work that we've put in.
Right.
That many decades of labor and saving, will we be covered, will we be protected? And so that is a huge part of Kentucky. Plus, we have an enormously aging population. We're all baby boomers at this point.
Yeah.
And
another point on Social Security, so Trump ran now. I'm not going to say, if you believed anything Trump said, okay, well, let's work through that together. But in earnest.
In therapy.
And look, I've been in therapy for the past 2 years. It works. but
thank you for saying that too.
Oh yeah.
Mental health is another major
it
crisis.
is.
Especially for men. Especially for men.
It absolutely is. Yeah. Look, we gotta love on ourselves. But as far as Social Security is concerned, Trump said he was going to protect it. And I think people seeing now that they have not only been looking to gut Medicare and Medicaid, but also making it harder for our loved ones to receive their Social Security. People in my generation and younger are saying, will it even be there for us? This is something that I'm committed to because I see it day in and day out. This is not an academic conversation. A lot of our loved ones across Kentucky are elderly. A lot of us face health challenges. I'm a type 1 diabetic, but a lot of people are facing health challenges. And so I'm fighting again for our survival because I know what this means.
Absolutely. Charles, I'm going to just ask a question on Summer's behalf because Summer is one of the major anti-human trafficking advocates in the entire nation. And she has such great concern for the unhoused that she serves, and I do that too. The folks who are in trafficking, the folks who are underserved on every level, even if they're not houseless.
Yeah.
And Louisville's houseless population has exploded in the last several years. It's this way across Kentucky, and it's no longer just downtown,
right,
in the West. Whatever people say, it's everywhere. You're sitting in a really nice section of town right now, and we've got a ton of unhoused citizens who frequent this area. So what is the hope and the plan of the Booker campaign to deal with the underserved populations that are not getting what they need from the city of Louisville particularly?
Yeah, I think, first of all, thank you again for the advocacy around our loved ones who have been trafficked. There's an aspect to things that happen in our society that don't get covered in the news, that people who are marginalized or don't have money in their pocket don't get attention. And I want this campaign to shine the light on people who get ignored, on the stories that don't get told. So I want to help lift that up too. But you're right, there are folks who are battling with being unhoused, from our veterans to parents who face hard times, to our children. And
seniors.
Exactly, and a lot of our seniors. And I was talking to some of our folks out in East Kentucky, and this is not, like you said, it's not just a downtown Louisville problem. People all over Kentucky are struggling to find a place to stay or to have money in their pocket. And I'm a renter now, and knowing that rent is high for so many, so I've always been pushing a tenant's bill of rights and making sure that we protect renters, but also getting more money into the pockets of people. I can't overstate how important that is. Supporting a HUD to actually build not just affordable housing, but quality housing. And it's always been the thing that, and just because we don't have a lot of money doesn't mean we don't deserve high quality. But at the same time, if we can do the work of getting more money into the pockets of people, and I'm talking about the tax dollars we already put into the system. We're giving money to folks like Elon Musk to become a trillionaire while people are laying on the streets. There is no excuse for it. And so by fighting to rectify our tax system, to make sure that these mega corporations and these billionaires pay their fair share, we can drive more dollars into community, which makes life better for everybody.
I'm going to give you one really tragic example of that. Somebody put an igloo out for a dog in Fairdale, so the dog would have shelter. The dog got rescued, and when they came back, a human had moved into the igloo. There was a backpack and belongings blocking the door. So when people are living in dog shelters because there's absolutely nowhere else to go, you know we've got a great big problem.
Yeah, well,
okay, so
my heart breaks.
Speaking of which, how do you feel about animals? Because you know what my biggest passion is? Talk to me about what you can do to encourage people to snip, chip, tag, contain their pets. Charles,
it is critical. We must snip, chip, and make sure that we're taking care of our loved ones. They are part of our family too.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful for your advocacy. I always follow it because, and as you all may have known, I've worked as a director at Fish and Wildlife, and one of the things that gravitated me to that agency was the fact that we have to take care of our home, and that includes the animals that help to make this environment rich and come alive. And certainly, they're more than pets; they're family. So
I'm going to be hitting you up about that stuff too, because this whole thing with killing all the deer just because of chronic wasting disease, instead of following other states' more proactive models in rehabilitating within the chronic wasting disease surveillance zones, instead of just slaughtering the baby deer, is something that is dear to my heart as well, because I have a lot of wildlife friends.
Yeah,
so
and just and making sure that we are being adamant and firm on addressing animal abuse and driving more money into research. That's one of the biggest things that this administration, the White House, the Trump administration, has been doing, is cutting funding from research where we cannot get ahead of diseases, that we can't better understand wildlife populations. So again, this is not just about running for an office. It really is about our health. It's about our lives. It's about our future.
Say it for me. Snip, chip, tag, contain.
We got to snip, chip, tag, and contain. Tara, thank you.
Go ahead,
So,
Summer.
we talked a lot about just being able to have just to be able to live. A lot of people I feel like are struggling.
Yeah.
One thing that makes things really hard for a lot of, especially people that live in Kentucky, minimum wage is still $7.
Yep.
That is unheard of. Do you think in the process of all of this stuff that we'll be doing that is something that also will somehow be addressed? I don't know if that's in your power, but if we can at least get the conversation going with people that it might be in the power. The $7 for a minimum wage is just unheard of. People can't they can't live like that.
And let's mention people in the service industry don't even get that unless they
Right.
have extraordinary people who they're working for. $2 and what, 13 cents or something?
Yeah, right.
Everything is tip based, and you know how tight people are right now. They're not tipping their servers.
Because they can hardly live themselves. Right. So
There's two tracks of this that are really important. One is how we invest in and support our small businesses, our local independent businesses, because those are the places that make our economy thrive, where the dollars circulate in our communities. Those are the spaces that hire our neighbors. So instead of funneling so much of our money into these mega corporations like Walmart, who are building a model that is rooted in welfare and having their employees receive food stamps that the government is also trying to cut, let's invest more money into small businesses. And I'll come back on the home ownership front of investing in local developers, creating funds that target local developers, especially in the Black and brown community, that get boxed out of those spaces. But I think too, from the standpoint of driving more dollars back into the ground and taking on corporate interests, I want to make sure to fully answer that question. Run that question back for me.
It was just something like the $7 minimum wage.
Yeah. So I talked about small business. That's what threw me off. But that was big, because I know when we talk about raising the minimum wage, a lot of employers are like, well, how can I afford it?
Right.
Well, we got to prioritize you too. But if you saw my launch video, one of the things I mentioned was 40 for 40. And essentially, that is a policy that I'm going to be pushing, where if you work 40 hours a week, you should be guaranteed a minimum of $40,000 a year. The wages have been too low for too long. We need living wages. And to be quite honest, the way we calculate the minimum wage is so outdated that it does not keep up with the quality of life now. The living wage is actually more around $100,000 a year, to be honest with you. And we need to stand up for that. But that's also why I support organized labor as a collective body that can advocate for raising wages, that can make sure our workers and people who make the economy go get paid for the work that they do. And as I said in my launch video, one of the ways that I believe we can make that happen, one is through legislation, but we know the climate. So we need people power. We need community power. And that's why I said, if we need to have a general strike, which I think is long overdue, we should do it. Because as regular people, we have been crushed by this economy that is driving money to billionaires and mega corporations. So I will be a loud voice on that. And I'm excited about it because I'm hearing more people around the country acknowledging in these No Kings rallies, where you're seeing people in communities all over the country that don't typically get out are saying things have to change.
A lot of seniors, a lot of conservatives. It's not just the liberal Democrats, as everybody says, who are out there. Those No Kings rallies are, and Summer was one of the organizers, so
that's why I know
this.
It's right. Yeah. This isn't about, look, the establishment on the Democratic side has been screwing us too. This is beyond party. This is about humanity. And the fact that the people are demanding it, and that I don't have to build a new message. This has been the message. So I feel like this is a moment whose time has come. And if we stand together, we're going to win.
Absolutely. So what's the next step, Charles? You're going to have a big campaign trail. You're going to be on the road all the time. How can we follow you, and who's going to be documenting you as you travel? Because you're going to have to be live all the time so that you can be amplified when you're not in a particular area.
So I'm hoping that you all can help me share this. If you are a streamer, if you are a storyteller, I want to connect with you. I want to make sure that we get this campaign to everyone. You may not watch the local news, you may not follow national news, but if there's folks in your neighborhood that help to tell a story, let's work together. I'm going to every county. I've done that each time, but I'm absolutely doing it this time. And it's going to take a lot of resources. I still don't come from big money. I am leading in the polls, but it's not because Chuck Schumer is trying to help me out. He does realize he needs to stay out of the way this time.
Yeah.
But we're going to need a lot of support. And my average contributions in the past campaigns have been in around $20, $25. So if you just have a couple dollars in your pocket, we're going to multiply that. We're going to reach people. We overperformed in one of the most impactful Senate campaigns in history in 2022. And I need people to hear that, because people will say, oh, well, Charles, you lost. We didn't win at the ballot, but what we won was showing how powerful this movement is.
Absolutely.
If we can put resources into it. So if you can, go to charlesbooker.org, sign up to volunteer. We're going to be doing a lot of organizing training. We're going to be building around mutual aid and helping to meet needs in the community. So this is not just about, hey, vote for Charles. This is about how we help our neighbors. That's what democracy is about. And then if you have a couple dollars, please donate it as well.
I also can tell you, just from having known you as long as I've known you, you show up all the time, even when you're not running for office, from the hood to the holler.
Yeah.
And you are always local, and you are always standing up, and you are always showing up. And you can say, I'm a dad and a warrior, to echo someone else's campaign, but we see you.
Thank you.
And we hear you all the time, out from the hood to the holler.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether you're carrying that slogan on to this campaign, but God, it's a good one.
You got to know it. I mean, it's a rallying cry, and it's a testament to our power as regular people in the forgotten places. And you know, the thing that I wanted to say, just I want to make sure this is said to people in movement spaces that have been organizing for justice, who have been pushing to address human needs in the face of all the crime and the weaponization of our government, the militarization of our law enforcement, the way ICE has been weaponized to terrorize communities. I want this campaign to be a reminder. When Dr. King said the arc of the moral universe is long, it's talking about this work is not easy. We're trying to change the system, and it takes time, and it means we have to keep showing up, even if we have to run again. And we built on historic progress, but some folks are saying, well, why do it again? Because we're not quitting, and because we've made so much progress. But the other part of that quote is that the arc still bends toward justice. If we are the arc benders, I'm trying to be an arc bender, and I'm telling you, based on the numbers, not just on how I feel, we can win this race if you help me. Let's build this arc together.
Charles Booker running for U.S. Senate in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Follow charlesbooker.org to donate, to volunteer. Give him the opportunity to show you who he is, because he has shown us who he is over and over and over again. And we appreciate you calling on your 502 live streamer buddies to come and talk to you. And I know that more live streamers, I know that Ryan Hurt wanted to be here this morning. He's working. He's in the hemp industry. He's trying to preserve his
That's
income.
right. That's right. And Mitch McConnell just put that legislation in to essentially crush the hemp industry. So I'm going to be mobilizing around that to help make sure that the growers and producers, small business in Kentucky, have a voice for them. That will hurt hundreds of thousands of jobs, small businesses, and again, our farmers, our growers, our producers are already being crushed. So
hemp got me off of prescription medications when I was depressed. So I am a huge supporter of CBD. And secondly, Matt Ballard wanted to be here, but he's had a baby since we saw him last with Made for the World, and he wanted to be here too. So I think both of them are going to be restreaming the work that we're doing today, which we welcome them to do. And we appreciate you, Charles Summer. Thanks for making it all the way up, in the early morning when you work all night. Thank you for getting up early to be here, but I know you'll be here for him as he is for us.
100%. It was very important for me to come out and support you.
Thank you.
I think with everything you're doing, and I was one of the people who's like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's time to work. We gotta work.
Yeah.
We gotta work.
It's on.
I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you, and anything that we can do uplift and be a part of and help, don't hesitate to reach out. So
Yeah.
you got this.
Thank you.
And
Charles
I really think
Booker.
it's our time. I think it is. It's the people's time.
Yes, it is.
It is the people's time. Yay!
Amen.
Hood to the holler. Charles
From the hood to the holler.
Y'all. Have a good one. Merry Christmas, Charles.
Merry Christmas.
Love y'all.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy holidays.
Happy Ramahana Kwanzmas.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
All of that.
How'd you say that?
Ramahana Kwanzmas.
Ramahana Kwanzaa.
Gotta practice
All right,
that.
we'll talk to you guys later. Have a great CharlesBooker.org.
.org.
CharlesBooker.org. Please go and support.